Why the cross from prophecy to power? Part 3. What did it accomplish? The cross was not simply an execution. It was the greatest transaction in history, the place where God's wrath and God's mercy met. At Calvary, Jesus bore the punishment for sin. Isaiah 53:6 declares, "The Lord hath laid on him the iniquity of us all. Every lie, every theft, every act of rebellion was placed upon him. He who knew no sin became sin for us, that we might be made the righteousness of God in him." 2 Corinthians 5:21. On the cross, God's justice was satisfied. Romans 3:25 tells us Christ was set forth as a propitiation through his blood, declaring God's righteousness. Sin demands judgment, and the cross shows that God does not ignore sin. He paid for it in full through his Son. At the same time, mercy was poured out. The cross is where forgiveness became possible. Colossians 2:14 says Christ blotted out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, nailing it to his cross. What once condemned us was removed, opening the way to reconciliation with God. The cross also disarmed the enemy. Colossians 2:15 declares that through it, Christ spoiled principalities and powers, making a show of them openly. What looked like Satan's victory was actually his defeat. By dying, Christ destroyed him that had the power of death. Hebrews 2:14. But the accomplishment was not just cosmic, it is personal. John the Baptist had proclaimed, "Behold the Lamb of God which taketh away the sin of the world." At the cross, that promise became reality. Every believer who comes to Christ finds cleansing, forgiveness, and a new standing before God. The cross accomplished what no sacrifice under the law ever could. Hebrews 10:12 says, "But this man, after he had offered one sacrifice for sins forever, sat down on the right hand of God." The work was finished. Nothing more could be added. What did the cross accomplish? It paid the debt of sin, satisfied the justice of God, opened the door of mercy, disarmed the enemy, and secured eternal redemption. Truly, it was not a tragedy but triumph, the victory of God's love over man's sin.